Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Everlasting. We are with Silver Phoenix, our level 49 martial arts scrapper, and we're on a story arc for Harvey Mailer, where we're looking into the Carnival of Shadows. And Ellie Weissman, who is a reporter, was kidnapped, and Percy Winkley supposedly knows something about it, and it turns out Percy Winkley is in a secret library, which, after talking to another contact, we found it is here in Brickstown. So she gave us the location of the secret library, which my guess is. Um, so they have these secret libraries underneath the city, and it's going to be a cave where we're going to be fighting probably Carnival of Shadows. Last episode, I was trying to do the Halloween stuff. It turns out reading is fundamental, and I didn't read. I read the thing that said that the Halloween event is now live, and I didn't read the rest of the sentence, which said on the beta server. So it is not yet live on the live server. So we'll do Trick or Treat when they put it live, and I'll show you how that works. It's super fun. It's a great little bit of Halloween flavor that developers added back in 2007 or something. Um, it's a fun little event. So this is Carnies, and we should now be on +2 × 2, so we should see a few more enemies in these spawns. Carnies are not like Malta, as you've seen. With the Malta, with Sky Raiders, these guys have a sort of buffing ability and the ability to drain you and do this stuff, and so you have to look ahead, make sure you're getting the sappers, make sure you're hitting the Sky Raider engineers and stuff. Carnies really don't have that. They drain you after the fact, but they don't really do anything to you in the sense that there isn't a particular mob that you have to watch out for in the Carnies, a particular type of enemy. These illusionists are trouble to some types of characters, but they're very little trouble to us because we're proof against their mez, right? They can't really do anything to me. They can't stun me. They're a pain because they keep going desolid, and then you can't affect them, but as soon as they attack you, they have to turn solid, and then you just wipe them out. And the regular minions, like the attendants and the strongmen and stuff, they're just physical damage, so they don't really do anything to you. Carnies are not. I used to think when I first started facing them that the Carnies were tough, but compared to, say, the Malta, Carnies really are not difficult. Even the Rikti are actually a little bit more difficult in the sense that you've got to hit the Guardians and the Communication Officers first, or they just make your life harder. There really isn't anybody you have to hit first with the Carnies that'll make your life harder. I mean, the Illusionists are a little bit of a pain because of the desolidification, but the Illusionists are lieutenants, and so any lieutenant is going to be a little more difficult than the minions, right? But it's definitely not like having the operations engineer where they're going to summon in a really annoying auto turret that's going to con one level higher than it is and take as much punishment as a lieutenant and hit you very accurately. And that just comes out of a minion, right? Or like the sappers, where if they hit you, they will drain your endurance all the way down to 0, right? The Carnies simply just don't have anybody that does that. Yes, over time, if you keep getting hit by their death scream, they will gradually drain your endurance down to nothing, but it's not like the sappers where one hit takes you down to nothing, all your toggles drop, and then you're screwed. They just don't have anything like that. Hopefully we'll see some bosses. I don't even remember what the Carney bosses are like because I haven't really fought one. I mean, other than the what's her name who leads the Carnies, right? We did fight her, but yeah, I don't know. No bosses yet. This also doesn't seem like a ×2 mission, and this should be set to ×2 now because I absolutely, after setting the notoriety, and you can see that it is ×2 players, after setting the notoriety up to ×2, okay, here we are, there's 2 lieutenants. I was going to say, after setting the notoriety, I logged out, and it's like later in the day now. So it definitely should be set to the difficulty that I put it on. And sometimes right after you do it, it doesn't take, but it's not right after anymore, so it should have taken, and it looks like it did there with that last spawn. We fought 2 lieutenants, which you will almost never get in a ×1 player mission. In a true solo mission, you almost never get 2 lieutenants together. Yeah, and see here we have 2 lieutenants together again. And they're +3. But you can see what the lieutenant do to me. That one, nothing. The illusion has hit me a couple times. She's going to be a pain now because she's desolid, but... and you can't really knock them back or knock them down because of their hover. So now she's going to go desolid again. So yeah, I mean, she's just a little bit of a pain to hit. But she didn't really do anything to me, right? Look at where my health bar is. Has my health bar, has it dropped really at all fighting carnies? No. They're just not that hard. They're certainly nowhere near as difficult as the Malta, because the Malta will sometimes in the same spawn have like a sapper and 2 operations engineers. So you either got to deal with the endurance drain, or you've got to deal with the auto turrets. These guys don't do any of that. They're just basically brute strength. And we can deal with brute strength all day long. No problem. It's one of the things we're really good at. Those Harlequin fencers are kind of cool looking. I definitely like the look of the carnies, and as I've said this before too, I like the look of all the villains. They're all very distinctive. They all have a different kind of look and feel to them. They fight differently, they play differently, you have to kind of deal with them differently. I really like that the carnies are very different from the Malta, and you have to think about it differently. You know, if you just run around like this against the Malta, you're going to have a much harder time. And Malta, I'm like constantly using my inspirations against their gunslingers because they're so accurate. But these guys just, they don't have that. The one thing they do, which is that endurance drain that makes them so hard for most people against a reflex scrapper with a high defense, yeah, doesn't do anything to me. Right, because it doesn't hit me most of the time. So you can see my endurance bar has been spiked up to the top. It's basically pegged at max. Now, of course, it's pegged at max even though I'm doing all this combat, because we have conserve power, or not conserve power, we have physical perfection, and we have stamina, and they're both 3 slotted. Now, what did I miss? There's got to be some down here. I haven't seen Percy yet, so he must be down here somewhere. And I must have missed him in this whole maze of tunnels. Not there. Where are you, Percy? Where'd he go? So I haven't gone this way yet, right? Ah, here we go. Yeah, there's another little section. Yeah, I hate that room because the way the map is, it's a 2-dimensional map and a 3-dimensional room. And so it looks like you've completed it all when you haven't. Wow, look how far this goes. We should be near the end, though. Let's see. Ah, there's the ring mistress. There we go. That's a boss. The ringleader, right? The master of ceremonies, right, for the circus. Again, powerless against me. I mean, she can hurt my hit points, but she's powerless to mez me because I have practice brawler. Alright, that's more like it. Okay, so now I need to use some inspirations finally. That's what I'm talking about. That's a little more of a challenge. There's Percy. One guy. And the last person. And he gave us a clue. And the clue says... Yes, Ellie Weissman interviewed me for her article on ancient artifacts. 90% of her material was bunk, but she was convinced that she had a real story. She kept asking me for details on the bands of Shu. My friend, the bands are nothing but an old pair of copper bracelets. They have no mystical power whatsoever. I can't enlighten you about the carnival's motives, but I may be able to help you find your friend. Here's a mental monocle. It can read whatever thoughts are uppermost in another's mind. I usually break it out for laughs at parties. So we have a mental monocle, and maybe if we beat up some carnies, they'll tell us where she is, but not in this mission, I'm sure. Let's finish this up. Got an illusionist here, so let's fight her. Look at that, didn't even get a chance to go D-solid. Oh, I left that one alive. Oh well. She'll come back. Carnies at launch is, I think, one of the few, along with the Cray, one of the few factions that had the Knives of Artemis. Those are the few factions that had any female villains, and the Carnies were probably the only faction that was predominantly female. The Cray had some of those like secretary-looking, you know, like administrative assistants that are like carrying guns. There were a few other female villains here and there. You know, obviously Countess Cray. But the Carnies are predominantly female. Other than the Strongmen, all of the others are female. And of course the Knives of Artemis are female. And those are pretty much the only factions that I can think of that at launch had more than a handful of, you know, just more than the occasional female, you know. So it was actually quite interesting to, whoops, almost fell down there, to fight them initially, because like, oh, these are actually female characters, you know. Look at that, I just two-shotted a lieutenant, and this one we gotta finish her off. Boom. Is that everybody? Let's get out of here. Come on. Am I stuck? Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Okay. Finish these three, and then I think we're done. This one. Come here, you. The heck is attacking me? Oh, the illusionist. Oh, master illusionist. Cool. Whoa, whoa. Alright, here we go. What did she do to me? Let's turn on focus accuracy. All these like extra guys are her pawns. They're her illusions. So I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to take her out. Up conserve power, because this is taking a lot of hits to get her. Should finish her. Yep. Wow, her phantom is still here. They should disappear with her. Huh. Okay, well, we'll take him out then. That's weird. I never saw that. I don't think I've ever seen them stick around after the summoner is dead. They're not like auto turrets. Same thing with him. He should disappear. He's a decoy. He was summoned by a phantasm. You defeat the phantasm, he should be defeated too. That's very strange. Yeah, see, he's gone. It just took it a little while to register, I guess. Maybe some lag. I don't know. Alright, we're done with this mission. And I'll go ahead and head out. We don't need focused accuracy anymore. And let's see. We'll call our contact. And he says, so Ellie was asking about the bands of Shu before she was kidnapped. I wonder if they might be more powerful than the Midnight Squad realizes. I bet they are. Okay, so then he says, thanks to Percy Winkley's mental monocle, we should be able to get some straight answers out of the carnival. The monocle will allow you to read whatever thoughts are uppermost, so just keep questioning them about missing reporter and don't stop until you find an answer and defeat 20 carnies. Okay, so I'm going to do this street sweeping mission. I'm not going to make you guys watch it. I'll bring you back in another episode once we've completed this and we have another instance mission. I hope you've enjoyed. I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes.